I've been waiting for the internet. All my day I've been waiting on the internet. All my day I've been waiting on the internet. All my life I've been waiting on the internet. And it's a high day that we're waiting. Little brown dog in the background. Internet! What's going on, Internet? It's Friday. I don't know about you, but the Bearded Fish Keeper was first to the live chat. Congratulations on being the first, ever so first, for the first on this Friday live stream. What's going on? Oh, it's Friday for me, it's Friday for you, it's Friday for everybody except for Joel Gillett stuck in New Zealand. It's apparently Saturday. Oh, and y'all wonder why I'm drinking some coffee, because I'm tuckered out, my friends. I'm tuckered out, my friends. Oh, long little Friday, laying tile. Oh, Mr. Scogland is apologizing for the caps. That's all good. Caps lock, I don't know. You could throw caps lock on there. I know some people get mad about that, but I don't really. Doesn't really bother me that much. But long day today, laying tile, driving around in traffic, being hot generally. Generally overheated, but not a bad day altogether. Can't complain. Everything worked out. All except for some of the wood pieces I made today snapped in half and had to replace them. That old feisty oak, that old feisty red oak, split right down the seams, and I actually had to replace it, so I ended up making some metal pieces instead. And just figured, well, metal will probably last longer, so aesthetically speaking, I don't think it's as good. Excuse me. And Joel Gillett with the first super chat of the day, talking about TPS reports. The one and only member of the live stream moderation crew that has to file TPS reports. And you know, we're all sorry for that. We all wish that he had a more manly career, hot welding New Zealand parts together, or shooting rocket ships into space. I think New Zealand has a huge space program, right? Is that right, or am I completely wrong? Well, either way, we're saddened yet elated by the TPS reports, because they all make us laugh. You just got to make sure you have a cover sheet on that thing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, like I was saying, out here in Tacoma, it has been a hot, sassy Friday. Not too bad. I mean, I wouldn't say it was bad at all. But it's been hot and spicy. Hot and spicy, my guys. Like I said, Bearded Fish Keepers first to the chat. Joel Gillett's here, of course. Kevin Hayes, my man out of Florida. Sagrath 1982 has been watching some oldie videos. Right on. Check out some of those old ones. Some of them are terrible, and some of them are terrific. Hey, right? Or maybe they're all terrible to middling. You know, you like dredge the bottom, and then sometimes you pop up to the middle with some of those old videos. But hey, man, that's reality. What's on there is what's on there. Hope you all like it. If you happen to go old school, Ty Heng is here. What's up, my man? Hey, FU2 is here, and Mr. Scogland with the I don't know, what's the word? Regret for not being first, but that's okay. And Punky Pam is here. What is going on? All right, I'm giving a shout out. Oh, Neurotic is here. Right on. Thanks for coming out. Let's see. So did I recap my day? Oh, I wanted to speak about traffic for just a second because I really wonder what some people are thinking. I don't know if you've ever noticed this as you go through like a really long traffic jam. There's always that jackwagon that's like fighting and changing lanes and doing all that stuff. And then after sitting in the traffic for like 20 minutes, you realize that same guy is still only 2 cars ahead of you after all of the lane changing and, you know, abruptly hitting the gas and all that craziness. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that. Is that something that other people have noticed? Because I've noticed that pretty regularly recently, that there's always some dip that's like trying to go super fast through the traffic, and I always end up being right behind that guy again. Oh, what is going on? Why is the chat dropping out? What is this nonsense? Oh, man. Maybe we're having technical difficulties on a Friday. Who knows? I'm going to leave that little thing open so that I can mess with it if I need to. Sorry about that. The chat dropped out of the video. I don't know why. Maybe somebody didn't file their TPS report at XSplit, and now technical difficulties maybe. But I was wondering if anybody noticed that, because I always seem to notice that. So I'm the kind of person that's like, oh, that's that red Subaru with that license plate that I remember from earlier, because I saw them driving all crazy. I don't know if anybody's noticed that, but I notice that all the time. And it makes me laugh. It always makes me laugh. And if I do I have to say, I am that guy that, if I see that guy in traffic again, as I'm like going past it, after staying in the same lane, I always like to give him a good look like, yeah, hey, remember me? Yeah. And always kind of a laugh. For me. Carson's late to the stream. But hey, man, better late than never, you know. You get the notification, and then you got to go, you got to get yourself a cup of coffee. You got to get a tape measure, make sure you know what's going on, and get yourself hunkered in, get yourself comfortable, make your arms all floppy and weird. And then once you're settled in, then you come in. Then come to the live stream, right? You want to have a level of preparedness that makes sense. Hey, Flynn's Fish Room is here, and so is Matt Rupike. Rupike. Matt Rupike. It's all one word. Matt Rupike. Matt Rupike. I like that. I'm probably saying it completely wrong, and no offense, but I like it, all one word. The Fish Life is here. Let's see. Kevin Hayes starting out with a question, talking to Matt Weber earlier. And hey, man, if you're talking to Matt Weber, you're talking to one of my favorite dudes. I mean, we flew out to Detroit to just go hang out with Matt Weber, and worthwhile. Love that dude. Let's see. So he's talking to Matt Weber earlier about the controversy over switching salts and the impact on your tank. Have you ever done this? And if so, can I touch on it a bit? You want to switch from standard instant ocean to Reef crystals. Oh man, I like this. This is a good little topic to hit on as we warm up the carburetor, get our arms extra floppy, and lay down. Right? I think it's a great topic because yes, I have done this before. And let me tell you something. I had a lot of issues. With switching salts. Mainly because at one point in time when I was switching salts, as a less learned fellow and a more seat of the pants kind of character that I was at the time, and I think this is probably a decade ago now, thinking about 2006, 2007, that's like a decade ago now, which is weird. I just switched salts one day, just willy-nilly. Like, I was just like, oh, I'm going to get this other brand now. And I hadn't thought about it, and I didn't ask anybody about it. I didn't ask for any help. I didn't ask for, hey, what am I doing, or anything like that. I just was like, I think realistically, I probably just liked the color of the box better, or the color of the bucket, or maybe maybe I was in a box before and I wanted a buck. I don't know. Can't really tell you what I was doing. Maybe it was cheaper and I was being a cheapskate. That's definitely a possibility. I've made some decisions like that in my life for sure, which sometimes good, sometimes bad. But like I said, I didn't ask anybody for any advice and just went ahead and did it. Boom. Like 2 days later, I've got cyanobacteria bloom out the buns and a ton of brown algae and all sorts of diatoms and nonsense and things going on within my tank. And naturally, my reaction is like, oh, this salt I got was bad, or blah, 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 or whatever. When the reality was, when I finally went and talked to some people, was that not all salts are made the same. Obviously, there's a quality issue, right? There's always the quality issue or whatever. But a lot of them... but a lot of salts have a big difference in chemical makeup, if that makes sense. And this would apply also to shrimp keepers out there or anybody who's doing rhodey and remineralizing their water. This is the same parallel right here. So the freshwater parallel to the saltwater parallel is in freshwater. If you're remineralizing your water, you could switch from one company to another and end up with totally different water, even though this product says it's the same as the other one. In the salt, and in the salt companies, they're all shooting for different levels of minerals and content and all kinds of stuff. That is the big issue. So what the recommendation that I got is at the time was go look up what the hell each one of these salts are supposed to be at. What are they supposed to be at? I don't remember which company I switched from or to, but I remember looking at what the salt makeups were supposed to be, minerally speaking. I don't know if minerally is really a fantastic word. Sorry, I've got glue stuck to my arm, guys. But minerally speaking, they were way different. So, just to take one of the base chemicals that's pretty common, like let's say the calcium was supposed to be right here with the salt I was using. Calcium was going to be here with the other salt I was using. So, what ended up happening was, I did the water change, a switch of salt, and then the levels that I had. As far as, dosing for my corals and stuff went whoop, whoop, and just did weird stuff. Everything in my tank was already uptaking what I was typically giving them. So when I gave them different levels of stuff, they did, the corals and, all my algae and all that kind of stuff didn't really know what to do with all this extra or lesser that was here. It basically just threw my tank out of chemistry for a while, which meant I just had to keep doing these water changes, and eventually I worked my way through it. So it realistically was sort of like, let's say I did a water change on a 50-gallon tank, and I did like 10 gallons, right? I just basically had to keep doing 10-gallon water changes until things started to level out. And then over that time period, realistically, over the time period that I was doing that was also a big help. So over the weeks, it was probably 2 weeks that I went through, was doing all the water changes because I would set up my roadie to make it before I went to work, and then would come home and then mix it, heat it up, get it to temp, blah, 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 do all this stuff, get it fully done, and then do like a 10-gallon batch or whatever I was doing at the time. So each day I was doing a thing, and eventually it leveled out over that time period. And that was the best thing that I could do, especially at the time. If that was the case now, that would be the advice I would give anybody now, is that you're just going to have to kind of work through figuring out what's different. But now in 2017, you can just look that information up super easy. You can look there and see what the levels are supposed to be at. In regards to, most companies publish what things are supposed to be at. So you could even dose to make up any deficiencies and take into account certain things that are going to be higher or lower, and you can actually just do that now on your own. So if you were going to switch salts, I would just ease into it. That's really what I would recommend to do. Look up the chemistry and see what's going to be like. Maybe strontium is super low in the new salt that you're switching over to. Which means you're going to have to dose a little bit of that to kind of boost that up to keep it at the level that it's at. But that's what I would do. If you have a big system like mine, well, mine's not the hugest or anything, but mine's a sizable system. It's a 180. I would say that it probably wouldn't be as dramatic as how I did it before, because I think at the time, I think all we had was like a 40 breeder or something like that. So it was probably pretty dramatic, the difference in water that was going in from changing the salt at the time. But I would say now I would probably just do smaller water changes as I change to the new salt, which I'm going to be doing that. So I would kind of stay tuned, because over the next month and a half, I'm going to be running through all of the Reef crystals that I have right now. We're going to be running through that, and then we're going to be switching, which I'm going to make a decision at the time of what I'm going to switch to. I'm probably going to switch to Fritz brand salt, which seems to be getting the best reviews from everybody in the community around here, are saying that seems to be the most stable mixed Reef salt that everybody is using. So I'll probably take the advice on that, and the price isn't that significantly isn't significantly higher than the salt we're using now. So, but as we move through, our goal is to not really be doing water changes at any point in time. So that's what we're going to be trying to do. I would like to at least get ourselves down to only doing a water change about every 2 months, which is kind of funny that you brought this up, because that's probably the only real piece of video that I have tonight is one of our water changes, and showing you guys how I accomplish those at this point right now with no drain in the new fish room. But yeah, as Kevin was saying, that he doesn't really dose all that much, and it sounds like he's got a pretty good. Maybe that's a comprehensive answer. Who knows? I don't know. Jadron Aquatics is here. What's up, man? What is up, interneter, fellow interneter? And 54 Punchy is asking, is it a possibility to mix your own marine salt? Yes, it is. It is very much a possibility. There aren't that many people that do it. Generally, the people that do it are, I guess the nice way to say would be huge enthusiasts in the DIY, I think, might be the thing. But there are a lot of guys out there that are looking for very, 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 very specific levels of stuff, and they're actually making their own salt. They're making their own Reef salt. It's not as uncommon nowadays as it used to be, so there's probably there's probably a larger amount of people out there nowadays doing it than in the past, but it still is pretty rare. It's pretty rare that people would be spending a lot of their time making their own salt, considering you can just. There's a lot of reputable companies out there that are making it now, so it's pretty affordable to order. So it's not too out of whack with ordering it. It's not all that crazy. Dwayne is here. What is up? And Sergeant Tank has arrived. If you haven't checked out those guys' channels, check those out. And check out Joel Gillett's channel, Flynn's Fish World, Jadron Aquatics. We have a whole bunch of people here with cool channels. So, I don't know. If anybody's in the chat, check out their channel. Why don't you? Why don't you check out their channel? Because why not? I mean, really. But... yeah, that's one thing I always forget in the live stream is to mention that everyone should sub everybody up and let's try and do some community stuff. I spent a good amount of time last night on the phone with a good friend of mine from the fish community, and that was something that we were talking about that we talked about yesterday. Was like, oh yeah, don't forget to sub everybody up on there. I know that you hit the like button and all that nonsense or whatever, but Don't forget to check out everybody else's videos and stuff. That is also really important. And I don't know Mike and Miney Fish Tanks. I don't know them. So hold on. I'm going to go to their channel. Let's see what's going on. Do you have any videos? Oh, they do. They have an unboxing video from Aquarium Co-op. I'm going to subscribe to them. See how easy that was? I did it on the live stream. Even while live streaming, I subbed to Mike and Miney Fish Tanks. There we go. That's how easy it is. So you can always just click on people in the chats if y'all's in there and sub those guys up. It's not really that hard to do. And typically, if they're chatting, normally they're pretty interactive. That's kind of normally what that means. And Joel Gillett's asking if I ever checked out his channel. Yes, I have checked out your channel, Joel Gillett. Of course I have. I mean, how else am I going to be able to keep up on the TPS reports? You know, I mean, how am I supposed to know if we're doing cover sheets now or we're not doing cover sheets now? How am I supposed to get these TPS reports out if I don't check out Joel Gillett's channel? Of course. Of course. Although the thing is saying that I'm not subscribed for some reason. I don't know why. That continually happens with my channel. I even had to resubscribe to Aquarium Co-op the other day, or somebody like that. My channel constantly unsubscribes me from 2 other people. I have no idea why. Maybe I'm just subscribed to too many people or something, and it just freaks out or whatever. But I don't have an answer why it's like that, but I'll often get things will come up like on my watch feed, like on my phone. Like my phone keeps track of my what to watch feed a lot better than my computers do, because my computers are pretty well heavily protected from anything like that. Everything is all completely turned off and all that kind of stuff, and blah 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 blah, all that. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? So my phone actually, that stuff pops up, and I'll go and like watch somebody's video, because I often will like set my phone up on a job site and like watch somebody's video while I'm like drilling holes in something or whatever, or at least just like listen to the audio, and then I'll realize like I'm not subscribed to them for some super bizarro reason. So I never really know why. It's super weird. And it's just an ongoing thing. It seems like it's an ongoing battle to like battle the YouTube subscribe button for whatever reason, from my end. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe somebody at YouTube is mad at me. Probably not. I really doubt it. It's probably operator error. It's probably got something to do with me not really, just being old and not really knowing what I'm doing, talking to the internets and pluralizing the internets and pluralizing Minecrafts, the Facebooks. But either way, some people, let's see, some people are saying that they missed the Super Chat Atom Bomb yesterday, and I would like to point out a big thank you goes out to Aquarium Co-op. I didn't even know that there was a limit on Super Chats, but apparently he hit the limit on Super Chat yesterday. And thank you very much, Corey. I very much appreciate it, and I really don't know how to say thank you other than just saying thank you. I'm trying to think of some kind of like weird, elaborate way to say thank you, but I think I'm just saying thank you genuinely. But I also would like to say thank you to everybody else out there that supports this channel and supports kind of what we're doing. If that makes sense, I want to say thank you to everybody. Everybody's contributions mean a lot. And as Joel's saying, sing a thank you. I might sing us out a thank you at the end of the live stream today. Lime stream. Whenever the lime stream ends, maybe I'll sing us on the way out. I didn't say hi to Dwayne. What's up, Dwayne? Kevin was in response to the reef salt stuff we were talking about. I was thinking Red Sea, and Matt said very inconsistent levels and suggested the reef crystals. I personally use reef crystals a lot. Mainly because they're just really consistent. I've seen to get them really consistent results from using the Reef Crystals salt. It seems to test out just about the same all of the time. The Red Sea stuff, I've seen weird stuff from. So whether that's accurate or not, it could be just me being a schlub and screwing it up or whatever. That is definitely possible, but I've used the Reef Crystals, and the price point is not bad at all. I mean, I generally go on Amazon and order a box that just gets dropped here for like $55 or something like that, which is, in my opinion, that's a pretty darn reasonable price. It's $50 for about 200-gallon batch. So, and it's split up into 4 bags inside there, which I like that too. I don't like it all being in one container, so that's helpful too. Let's see, Matrupike is getting his first purple shrimp tomorrow. Should I make up some water to replace what I use for acclimating, or just dump the water back into the tank? Okay, let me answer this question with a piece of video here. Haha. We're going to the video, guys. We're going to the video to answer Matt Rupel's question here. Now check out this water change video. It's a little bit sped up. I should have sped it up more, honestly. That would have been cooler. What is going on with the... Whoa. I just realized in XSplit I can scroll in the chat in XSplit. Whoa, how weird is that? Sorry. But as I was saying, I really should have sped up this video a little bit faster. It's sort of like double speed or something. But it would have been helpful had I sped it up a little bit more. Okay, so you can see here I have 2 garbage cans. Now here's the thing that I wanted to point out before we get going too crazy here. But I have two garbage cans. One's gray and one is black. Now the reason why I have 2 different colored garbage cans, one is for dirty water, one is for clean water, and they're pretty easily identifiable by the fact that one is black and one is gray. It's pretty... It becomes confusing over time if you have 2 garbage cans that are exactly the same color. Which one's the clean one? Which one's the dirty one? And so in my experience, it's better to just buy 2 different color cans. I used to actually have a white one and a gray one at one point in time, but the outside of the white one gets super grody looking over time when it gets bumped into things and like gets like maybe you kick it with your foot or whatever. The outside of the white garbage can ends up looking dirty and dingy and disgusting, and you might as well just skip over that whole nonsense altogether. But they have blue ones, green ones, gray ones, black ones. I prefer to use the black and gray. It just, I don't know, aesthetically it's nicer, I guess. I don't know. And plus, if I had a blue one, people would probably be throwing recycling into it all the time, which you already have enough of that nonsense going on. But you will notice as the water change is happening here, I have some fish acclimating up in bags up in the tank up there. What I would do in this situation here, if I was to be drip acclimating, I would drip acclimate into a bucket while doing the water change and throw out all that water. Typically when you do a drip acclimation. Oh, look at that little later came on there. Don't worry, we're not signing off yet. Don't worry about that portion of the video. I think I rendered this video wrong. But if I was acclimating my fish in that water, and typically when you acclimate fish, you'll dump the bag into a bucket and then start dripping into that and using the water that they already had in the bag. The last thing you want to do is add that bag water to anything at any point in time, whether it's fresh water, salt water, brackish water, whatever type of water we're talking about here. You do not want to add that dirty water to your tank where anything has been shipped in, whether it's shrimp, fish, corals, it does not matter what it is. Do not put that bag water in your aquarium. Like, don't ever do that. It's a very highly concentrated bag of badness that you don't want for many reasons that we don't need to get into right now. But it's just very dirty water. Don't put that in your aquarium. But when I'm adding stuff to the reef, and let's say I was going to do the drip acclimation with these guys, then I would definitely say to do a water change at the time whenever I add anything new anyhow. And I really kind of lost my train of thought here. What was I talking about? But either way, if you're going to do the drip acclimation, make sure you throw that water out. Do not add that in. And if you are getting new stuff for your reef, it is always a little bit beneficial to do at least a little bit of a water change when adding new stuff into your reef tank, if it's a salt tank. And whenever I add freshwater stuff to my tanks, I'll do a water change then also. I will also do a water change whenever if I add shrimp or fish or whatever to my freshwater tanks, even plants. If I add plants to a tank, I'll do a water change on my freshwater tanks at the same time. If I do any kind of planting or anything like that, I'll do a little bit of a water change in my freshwater tanks, my shrimp tanks, all that kind of stuff. I will always pretty regularly do a water change if something's going to be added into them or changed around. Like, let's say I'm going to move some driftwood, or I'm going to move some of the live rock in my reef. I'll do all that stuff and then do a water change after. And typically, the reason for that is you just mix stuff up. Stuff will just get mixed up. Things will get popped around into your aquarium. And just remember, no matter how big your aquarium is, it is much smaller than nature, no matter what. Unless your aquarium is the ocean. Which it's debatable whether or not the ocean would actually even be your aquarium, or if you were calling it that or not. But your aquarium is always going to be much smaller than nature, so if you are really disturbing things and moving things around, it's really easy for things to get a little bit out of whack, and you not know it, because there really is no real visible evidence to go like, oh, I bumped something wacky that maybe there was a spot where there was a lot of detritus or something like that, like hidden behind something, and you moved it. And it spiked your ammonia or whatever. So it's always just a good idea to just do a water change if you're going to add stuff in. If I'm going, and now here's a thing that I would recommend to most people, is that if I'm going to a fish store, I try to okay, so like if I'm going to a reef store, I try to have some water mixed before I even go to a reef store, if that makes sense. I try to get water mixed up before I possibly go to a reef store, if that makes sense. Just on the opportunity that there's something there that I just have to buy, and there's no way I can get away from it, and I'm going to buy it, and I just have this like $40 in my wallet, and I just want to give it to that guy, and I got to have this little shrimps or whatever weird thing is at the store, or like if I'm going to a friend's house that happens to have a big-ass reef or a bunch of aquariums there or whatever, I try to just be a little Boy Scoutish. It's one of the few things that I carry with me from being kicked out of the Boy Scouts, is to just be prepared, just have some preparedness. And so that's kind of one of the goofy things that I do, is I'll just mix up some water ahead of time before I go. And then it's also a good point of reference in my head that if I'm like, oh, I could just stop in at the old reef store and take a look at what they got. Oh, check me out. I'm driving around in my car right now. It is a good point of reference that I just go, oh man, I don't have any water mixed up. I can't stop in there. So that also helps with the unforeseen expenditures, which seem to happen to most of us, if not all of us. And Joel Gillett with the super chats 2 New Zealand style super chats today, my man. Thank you very much. He's saying, please don't stop streaming after the trial. This is like daily therapy, but cheaper. When are you going to start the other style streams? And Steven Skoglund with the super chat. Thank you very much, man. Well, this seems like a perfect opportunity to talk to you all about some of the other streams that are coming up, because one of them is coming up this Sunday. We are going to... Okay, so if anybody wants to be a super creep, all right, super creepy internet-y people, we will be climbing Mount Belgica this Sunday morning. We're going to leave out of here in the morning time, at whatever time the morning time is around here. I don't know when that is. I don't know when the morning time is, my friends. There's just time where I'm asleep and time I'm awake. But we're going to ascend Mount Belgica, and then we are going to descend from the top of the mountain. And then we're going to probably, walk around a little bit, then probably eat like pancakes or something super carbo load after the fact, right? So I can keep my one ab going. And then Derek is going to come back here, and we are going to do the very first 2-man live stream, unless somehow Carson makes it here tonight or Saturday. If that makes sense. That'll be the first one with Derek. Derek is the guy that we've been that I've been trying to get to come and do some of the other style live streams. So I'm not 100% sure what we're going to talk about, but we're going to be climbing up a mountain, and we'll have a good amount of time to talk, to get some ideas and to kind of hash on things and breathe real heavy and wonder why our glutes are out of shape. And then come down here and talk about it. And at the very least, we'll be able to talk about the climb going up. There's no technical climbing in that ascent. It's mainly hiking. I think it's about 5,600 feet. And then you get to look straight off from the top at Mount Rainier. And let me tell you, the last time we climbed that mountain, it was cloudy and raining and cloudy and raining. And so the big reward to getting to the top... to getting to the very top is to be able to look at that big view of Mount Rainier. It was cloudy and raining, and we just got to look out into the clouds and the rain and ponder the inevitability of a meteor hitting the earth and us all vanishing into vapor, much similar to the cloud formations that were going on. Neurotic is here with a super chat. Thank you very much. Thirding the motion here. There's that's the third motion. Thank you very much. And is asking, am I selling that shrimp painting behind me? Luke's Aquariums keeps asking me about buying that shrimp painting back there. And my response has been so far to pretty much everybody that has inquired about it is that shrimp painting is not very quality. That was a tester. Somebody was asking at one point in time during the live stream if I had done some shrimp paintings, and I had that one left from some test paintings that I had done, and it's just been sitting there ever since. And people keep asking about whether or not I'm going to sell that painting. And here's the thing. There's been we talked about it yesterday during the live stream a little bit. That this is has essentially a 90-day trial period to see how long I'm going to do this live stream for. Dependent on the analytics and all that kind of stuff, Vicky and I are going to make a decision after 90 days whether or not we want to keep doing this or change the format or whatever we're going to do. So when I get to the end of that 90-day period with the Patreon, which I've posted up a few times. This is that is not the Patreon page. But all right, hold on a second. I got to remove my own comments. What am I doing here? I swear I had copied this. Okay, copy. and paste, gaboosh. There we go. The Patreon page there, I'm going to essentially take the top contributors from that Patreon page, and I'm going to most likely be making a bunch of different shrimp paintings similar to this one, a bunch of varied ones. I'm probably going to make 10 or 20 of them that are slightly personalized in a different way. Call it a series, a numbered series that will be signed by me. Those are going to be sent out to the top Patreon contributors, along with essentially the top super chatters, which clearly is Corey. I don't even know how anybody could catch up at this point. Some people will have to max it out apparently a couple times to pass him up. But chances are Corey might want something that is a little bit maybe more custom or business related. I don't know. I haven't asked him, so we'll see what happens with that. And, you know, you never know. Maybe Jeff Bezos is going to get on here. Apparently, he's the richest guy in the world now. He could pop on here and max out the Super Chat a bunch of times. Or get onto the Patreon. Somebody could get onto the Patreon $10,000 a month tier pretty easily. It could really just only take like 2 or 3 of Jeff Bezos's to get on there and do that. And just max out the Patreon thing. We'll be hitting our goals quite rapidly to be bringing in some big tanks. That's the big goal of the Patreon page, is a big tanks and better equipment for more live streams. But as I was saying, Sunday is going to be the first 2-person live stream here, where I'm actually going to have Derek here. We're going to see how that goes. It may end in a knife fight, you guys. I don't know how it's going to go. I can't tell you because my future seer doesn't seem to be working all that well anymore. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes. Maybe it works well. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's not interesting. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. He's not a fish tank guy, but he is a very intelligent character. And I very much enjoy our typical conversations. Often. Political driven, computer driven, video games, video production. Like, there's a lot of stuff that he and I talk about that I find to be very interesting. So we're going to just kind of test the waters and see what happens with whatever goes. Maybe we'll just talk about Dungeons and Dragons for 3 hours. Who knows? We're going to see how it goes. If it works out, hopefully we can work out trying to do it more often. I don't know. Well, I'll also have to be doing some of the programming to see how the layout's going to go and all that kind of stuff. Eve is here. What's going on? He's saying any guppies? He will want pictures of guppies. He might. That's true. Big Ease is here. What's up, Big Ease? I almost missed you. 54 Punchy says morning is when I usually go to bed. Wake up time around noon. Now, that sounds like somebody who might be on summer vacation. I'm just making a guess there. I'm just guessing. And Matt Rupke was saying that it's clear that Joel Gillett does not have kids being able to sleep until 9. I will say this. It was actually pretty funny. I'm seeing something that might be different generationally, or maybe just personally. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like a personal difference. Oh, 54 Punchy's an artist. I should know that? Well, shit, how am I supposed to know that? All right, hold on a second. I got to go to your channel, 54 Punchy. Well, shoot. How am I supposed to know that? You don't have. Okay. Well, okay. I know. Well, yes. When I'm in paint mode over the winter time, I paint. I used to paint all night, but I actually I made a concerted effort that when I am home painting and working on paintings, I actually get up at 5:30, drink my coffee, do my morning routine of kind of wandering around and sitting outside and like staring at the blue jays or whatever for a little while, and then I start painting around 7, and then I'll just paint throughout the day until Vicky gets home, and just listen to a lot of loud death metal, which definitely makes it much more comfortable to work in my office when I get to listen to loud death metal. And if I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I can't listen to like In Flames or whatever super loud, because they're asleep, and then there's an issue. So The Art of Pam Earlywine. All right, I'm 54 Punchy. I'm going to check out your art for sure, because I'm a big fan. Oh, there we go. It's right there. If you actually just copy and paste. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, mad respect, because you got some skills. That is awesome. All right, I dig that. That is cool. Like, wait a minute. I feel like... Hold on a second. Oh, cool. You got some cool native stuff, too. Okay. Well, now I'm live streaming while I look through Pam's stuff. All right. Recommend to everybody out there, you can actually just copy out of the chat. I just copied Pam Earlywine on Facebook, and then Google searched it, went right to it, and found some of their stuff. Actually, that is amazing. Kudos to you. I'll figure out how to figure out where you live and stuff later, and whatever, all that kind of stuff. But that is awesome, and that's cool. Yeah, as Steven Skoglund was saying, that's what I was saying, that Jeff Bezos is now the richest man in the world. I forget, somebody was giving the report on that. Although it seemed that that him being the richest man in the world now is a little bit slated, because Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are involved in that, whatever that Sweet 16 thing is. There's like a pact between all these billionaires that have been giving away. They're going to give away like at least half of their money or something like that before they die. Which I don't understand how that would work if you have like $80 billion and it's like exponentially growing, and you're trying to figure out how to give it away, but the interest alone is just, it's like Brewster's Millions kind of thing. You know what I mean? If anybody's seen that Richard Pryor movie where he's trying to blow all the money. But Warren Buffett would be a guy that I would like to meet, period. I wouldn't really be all that interested in meeting Bill Gates. But Warren Buffett is definitely a dude I would like to meet at some point in time, and he's getting old, so I don't know how I could try to set up a meeting with that guy, because that's a dude that I would just like to talk to, honestly. Maybe I could try to get him to come on here. Maybe I could email him. Or just go hang out at the McDonald's that he goes to every morning, maybe? I don't know. That's not creepy at all. Dwayne would rather meet Jimmy Buffett. Well, if you're a parrot head, then I guess that's a thing. Just trying to look through here if there's anything that I missed. Super chat. Dwayne is saying that the anal carpenter in him is chaffing at the door with no trim. Agreed. I do have 2 doors that still need some trim done to them. One of them isn't done for a reason. A, I don't have any trim on hand. The other one, reason B, I need to offset the door by a 1/2 inch, because the guys that installed that door previously didn't make an accommodation for the extra layer of siding on the outside of the building. So when I framed some stuff and did some things, my drywall is offset out, so I actually have to just make a piece that will go inside on those and then put that in. But the exterior door is actually filled in with foam, so there's no air or anything coming in like that. So it just doesn't have the trim on it, which I agree is a little bit irritating. But I have so many other things that are pretty important right now. I'm trying to get to the other stuff now that at least the room is solidly done, minus some minor things. Oh yeah, Kevin Hayes was saying I think that he thinks the water change while adding fish is also good for the sake of aggression. That's right. It kind of confuses everybody and gives them an opportunity to sort of figure out their territories and stuff. Because realistically, you start doing a bunch of water changes, some of the critters in your tank are kind of like, what's going on, and then kind of figuring out. I agree with that. I would have to agree with that. That is a great valid point for sure. Set up a Buffett tank. That's pretty good. Yeah, Dwayne, I know you're teasing me. I just, in all honesty, it does bother the shit out of me too. And if you guys can notice that I try to avoid that kind of crap when I'm shooting video of stuff. I try to just frame out the things that freak me out. Though we did get a whole bunch of hardy plank the other day, which is what I'm going to be finishing all the stands with. I'm going to be finishing all the stands with hardy plank, which is, those of you that don't know what hardy plank is, it's actually a cement-based board that looks like wood, but it's not super heavy. It's cement-based, and it's typically used for siding or a rough-in for a bathtub or a shower or something tile-backed, generally speaking, that would get water on them, like the backsplash in your kitchen. Though the hardy backer is different for the shower and backsplash applications, it's the same material, but this stuff looks like big strips of siding that would go on the side of your house, and is essentially impervious to moisture to any degree. So we ended up getting a whole bunch of it, compliments of a family member who didn't want it anymore. So that's actually what I'm going to be using to finish the tank stands. So at least I can get the tank stands looking finished and get those solid up. And there's still some work to do on the other 180 that's going to be the shrimp tank. And so I'm going to be finalizing some of that fairly soon. If anybody's interested in that, then that stuff will be coming up. I hope to do it this weekend, but we have the hike and everything on Sunday. And then we also are going to go introduce ourselves to a possible new member of the family, a small dog. So we might have 2 small dogs. So we're going to see how that goes, but that'll be happening on Saturday. So I don't know when. If we do adopt that old new dog, it's an old new dog, right? Then I will, for sure, that dog will probably pop up on the live stream, I'm sure. This little brown one down here just takes naps all the time. It's literally down here, laying on her side, just taking naps and stretching. Beady Browns. Bibbidi boop. Well, she knows I'm talking to you guys right now, so she doesn't seem interested in me calling her over here either way. That's right, Dwayne. The small brown dog apparently knows about this plan. I'm not sure. They're supposed to be buddies. I guess that's the plan. They're gonna be homies. Matt Rupke was saying it is a pain in the butt to cut the hardy board. It definitely is. So anybody out there that is thinking about doing some hardy plank or hardy board or anything like that, you can either A, get a full-on respirator and rock that if you're going to cut it, or B, get some shears. They're typically pneumatic run shears for cutting it. And I'll definitely show you guys some of the ups and downs and ins and outs of cutting that crap whenever that happens. Ow. Oh, that's why I can't move my chair. There's a speed bump down there known as my phone. All right, so we got a few fish tank things that I got in the mail that apply, that people have been asking me about. So is this an unboxing? It's an Amazon box. It's not that exciting. But I wanted to, for those of you that I keep forgetting to put an image onto any of the videos that I do with cutting glass, right? When I cut holes into glass, I pretty regularly get this question all the time. What is the brand that you use and what size of these? So I wanted to pop some of these open and show you the fact that I get the really generic ones made in China, and this one's a 2-pack, and these other ones came as a 1-pack. Typically what I'll order for the 1.5-inch bulkheads are these ones here, which is a 60 millimeter, right? So it's a 60 millimeter hole saw. Now the thing about these Chinese made ones, is that here's the great thing about them: they're really cheap. And then here's the bad thing about them: they're really cheap. Typically you'll get, depending on the quality of them, you'll get between 2 and 6 holes out of these. Obviously the depth and thickness of your glass is going to be mildly important in regards to what's happening with the dullness of the blade, just like if you were cutting thick wood or thin wood or that kind of stuff with a saw blade. It's going to be the same situation there, that they'll wear out if it's thicker. And here's the 45 millimeter one. And these one actually come in a 2-pack, and this is a 2-pack of a 45 and a 38 millimeter that come together. Now, the 38 millimeter is essentially useless for aquariums, but these ones are wildly helpful in bathroom tile installations that I do on a regular basis. So ordering this 2-pack is actually really helpful to me, because this one for work, this one for aquarium work, which I guess is kind of work too. Now the 45 millimeter ones are the ones that I use for cutting 1-inch bulkheads. If you guys remember from the video that I did the other day cutting the glass, we didn't have a problem, except I was using a 40 millimeter instead of a 45, because I didn't have any 45s around for whatever reason. I'm going to be honest, I think I left them on a job where I was installing somebody's bathroom, and I think I left them there along with my caulking gun and a couple of other things, which, I mean, there's nothing quite like leaving tools somewhere. That's just miserable, and then never getting a call. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to get that call. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, you left your tools here. Oh, man, you know what we forgot today? We forgot to do the advertising portion. I guess it's a good time to do it because I was showing you some of the stuff that I order from Amazon. If you guys head over to darkstararts.com, which is, I guess I'll type it in here. .com. Darkstararts.com looks like that. It's all one word, darkstararts.com. If you go over there, you click through the Amazon banner at the top of the page. Now, I want to explain to some people out there that seem kind of confused by how this works. Have you ever seen that Facebook is worth, like, I don't know, $30 billion or whatever, right? And people go, well, how is Facebook worth billions of dollars if it's just people on there sharing cat videos and talking about how their dog crapped in the house and how traffic sucks and it's hot outside? I'm making fun of myself, by the way, if that didn't seem obvious. They wonder how it's worth so much money. Well, companies like Amazon, when you put an advertisement onto Facebook and people accidentally click on it, has that ever happened to you where you're like scrolling through something and you accidentally click on a Volkswagen ad or something and you go there and it redirects you to the site? Well, it saves that you clicked on that advertising, right? Now, why is that important? Because when you go to Amazon and you buy whatever you buy, whether it be a super nice camera like this, or some junky old orange carpenter pencils like this, or old used Band-Aids like this, whatever you go and buy there, it will credit that advertising fee to wherever the last thing that you clicked on. So a lot of people that I've talked to, they went, oh, I went through your Amazon banner like 6 months ago, right? So if you did it like 6 months ago, you've clicked on a whole bunch of other stuff since then. So your advertising fees, which is the sale So the company that is selling something, right, like these drill bits here, will pay Amazon for them brokering the deal, essentially, as being the middleman. Now that they take a portion of that money and give it to whoever was the last thing that was clicked on. Now, if I'm the last thing you clicked on, I get a little portion of that. If that's something that you like to do, cool, go ahead and do that. If there's a more valuable or interesting person out there that you would like to click on their Amazon banner, go ahead and go there and do that. If you feel like I'm not a worthy subject, there's a whole bunch of them out there. You can even go, there's even some charitable sites out there. One of them that I generally click on is one of the VA ones. There's one that is called Start Recovery, which I'll go through that one, which generally funds alcohol and addiction recovery and stuff. And I'll click through those before I go buy stuff on Amazon, so it actually sends the credit to those dudes instead of whoever. You know what I'm saying? Whoever, whatever weird thing I accidentally clicked on at one point in time. So that's a quick explanation of how that works. Al Commander's heading out to eat. The family here from Florida really enjoyed the stream. First time for them to watch. And Becky and Gary, they just sound like regular people. But are they? We may never know. Or we will know. So, yeah, if that's a quick explanation that people can understand, then, like I said, that it... You know, I understand, like, if you don't want to support me, just remember you could be supporting other things, right? So if you don't want to support this channel, you could support other stuff, and just remember to think about that next time you're going to, like, Amazon or eBay or whatever, wherever site you go to buy stuff. Just remember that whatever you click through, whatever ad that you've clicked through before might be sending that ad money to something that you maybe don't like Breitbart or whatever. Maybe you do like Breitbart. I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe you don't like what the accidental thing that you clicked on, so just think about that just as one of the subscribers out there. Just talking about the little ad stuff here. And then another thing we talked about was the Patreon page, and obviously the super chatting and all that kind of stuff. Thank you very much, you guys. I definitely appreciate it. And as Dwayne was saying, yes, you guys definitely get points for distracting my chain of thought. Yes, for sure, 100%. I'm sort of a stream of consciousness kind of weirdo, but I hopefully make it back to whatever the hell I was talking about at some point in time. It's fairly easy to distract me, especially when the super chat colors pop up, because they're always bright and shiny. And oh, what's that? Definitely a hey guys, how you doing? Squirrel. You know, kind of person. So I can definitely get distracted sometimes. Kevin is asking, speaking of Band-Aids, how is the thumb doing? Thumb update, it's growing back, much to the chagrin of the orthopedic surgeon who said that it wouldn't grow back. And I said it will grow back. Just you wait. The last time I visited them, I went, look, it's growing back. And he went, wow, you were right. And I went, uh-huh. And he went, okay, stop coming back in, man. And pretty funny exchange. But it checks out now. It's still just in a lot of pain because I have like half of the nail kind of growing back over here and just a ton of a nerve cluster right there that gets bashed onto things until the nail grows more and grows onto it. It's going very slow. It's a slow process to get my finger to grow back. Obviously, it's not a very quick thing that happens super quickly, so it's just taking its sweet time to grow back. But I believe that it will make a full recovery with the added benefit of extra nerve damage in my left hand, added to the previous nerve damage that was going on in this already. So at least the meat parts will grow back and be flopping around, you know. So that's hopeful. And Skinner is here. Skinner, what's up? He says, Skinner's saying good morning. I don't know what time it is where he's at, but it's got to be a weird time. I'm almost going to guarantee it. Speaking of the time and the schedule, Hopefully tomorrow I'll be doing an early schedule so we can try to hit up some of the Europeans that that are gonna be here. And it sounds like I'm farting whenever I Oh crap! Nope, I just got a text from Victoria that says, "Oh, hold on a second here, you guys." I almost accidentally turned on Pandora, and that would ruin the whole live stream. The dog, we're going to go meet the dog at 11 a.m. now. So, early live stream, unlikely. It's going to be unlikely that there'll be an early live stream. So, we shall see how that goes. Unless I get a bunch of video shot tonight, and then I'll get up at, like, super early. And do it super early or something. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But Skinner is up at 2:30 in the morning. There we go. That is, I guess you're right. That is one of the perks of insomnia, I guess, being up that late. Let's see. Yeah, Eve, I beat you to it with the squirrel reference, but yeah, I definitely am that kind of guy. Oh, and we accidentally made our way all the way through the advertising portion, so right on. Give us all some high fives. I don't know how to do that emoji. I wish someone could explain to me how to do the... Wait, hold on. Maybe there's a way... Oh, that's why. I got to go down here and scroll through these emojis. Oh, man, there's a... Oh, there's eggplants down here in these emojis, you guys. Oh, ridiculous. What else they got here? Coffee beans, radioactive symbol. No, I didn't see the hands. I didn't see the hands clapping. How do people... Man, I thought I was about to have figured it out. This is something that I never look through, the emojis. Oh, and Kevin figured it out. How do you do that one? I think I found it. Well, where's the score? Man, maybe I got to download. All right, I'm just going to throw a monkey up here and call it good. All right. Oh, you guys are on your phone. Okay. Well, I don't know. Those are the emojis I got, and I didn't find any hands clappy ones. Is this maybe? No, that's like a blushy guy or something. I don't know. But maybe at some point in time, somebody will teach me how to type in the hands clapping. No, I don't know. Applause, because the advertising part is over, which is good. And I can't remember if there was anything else I really wanted to hit up tonight on the... Yeah, well, HD Aqua, you can do it too. So everybody seems to know how to do the hand clappy thing. I guess I'm going to have to go look this up. Whoa, that's crazy. Kevin Hayes looks different on this chat and that chat. Oh, that's interesting. How weird. Okay. But... So, doubtful we'll do the early live stream tomorrow, but tonight I think I'm going to go re-drill Vicky's aquarium. I'm actually going to do what I'm not supposed to do and drill the hole bigger and do her overflow bigger, because I ended up doing hers as a 1 inch, and I'm actually going to up gauge it to a 1.5 because I want more flow. We want more flow, you guys. So I'm gonna actually up gauge that. So maybe I'm probably gonna drill that tonight. Throw the bulkhead and the plumbing in there tonight to handle that. And I'll shoot some video on her tank with the update on what's going on with that. Her new driftwood that she added in is doing the fungus thing, which almost always gets tons of questions on all of the Facebook and YouTube and everywhere. Whenever new driftwood goes into a tank, it will go through a cycling period where it'll get this wispy white fungus that grows on it, which is not it's not going to affect anything in the tank negatively. Fish and shrimp will actually eat it. I think they see it as some kind of weird snack that they enjoy. It almost always happens with brand new driftwood, and like I said, it almost always gets tons and tons and tons of people freaking out about it, and that is something that's going on there. So I do mean to shoot some video of that just to kind of share the visual portion of it. So I'm going to shoot that while I re-drill her tank and upsize her overflow. Now, she has a 20-gallon sump on that aquarium, and I am feeling like that 20-gallon sump is insufficient. So I might be upgrading her sump, but I need to ask her if that's cool ahead of time. So we're going to see. I might be upgrading her sump to a 40 breeder in the future here shortly. The up and coming future, I'll probably be upgrading her sump also to a 40-gallon instead of the 20-gallon that she has right now, which means that there'll probably be a 20-long sump out on the lawn out here for free for somebody that's driving around in Tacoma being a creep. Let's see. Oh yeah, Dwayne is saying that his wife swears it killed all her plants, and his recommendation was just to wait a while. If anybody does have that light fungus that's happening from the driftwood, remember, don't stress out about it too much. It's not that. It's not a bad thing, and like I said, fish and shrimp will generally eat it all up too. You can siphon it off pretty easily when you do a water change. You can suck it up with the tube real easily and get rid of it, and it generally never comes back after the first time, really. Steven Skoglund, man, you got to go to bed. East Coast life. It's Friday night, man. What you doing going to bed early on a Friday? But I am realizing that we are at the 1 hour and 11 minute mark. So it's probably going to be the best bet for me to kind of trail off quietly and sing a thank you song here for the live stream for today as we come up on the end. I can't think of a thank you song. Well, maybe I got to think of a thank you song, but I'm going to, well, Neurotic and Steve Skoglund and Joel Gillett are super chatters for tonight. Joel with a double dose. Joel with a double dose of the super chat. Thank you very much for your sponsorship for this live stream. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe you had a laugh. Maybe you laughed at me, and then maybe you laughed with me. I don't know. Come on, guys. Don't laugh at me all the time. Let's see. Skinner has a question here we should probably answer before we sign out. Out of curiosity, I got a 100-gallon running off of a canister. I've been wondering if I should upgrade to a sump. Yeah, you should. You really should. I mean, the easy answer is just yes. I would. I would upgrade to a sump. The overflows can be fail-safe, whereas canisters, not so much. You know, you can route the plumbing just as good as the plumbing in your house. If you trust in your toilet, when you flush your toilet, if you trust in that pipe sending the turds out to the street, if you trust in that, you can make your plumbing as good as that very easily on your aquarium, as heavy duty as that, for sure, easily. Let's see. You have much more water volume. You can have added water volume and so much more media, so much more space. Not a bunch of stupid equipment up in the tank like the heater. You can put the heater down in there. You can put the heater down in the sump and it not be up in your tank. So, yeah, the simple explanation is yes, upgrade to a sump. I do have a sump video somewhere that people seem to like, I guess. So I would check that one out, probably a little bit more. HC Aqua, yeah, I use the same plumbing parts when I'm putting in a toilet. You know, I use the same pipe that I'm putting in a toilet for the doo-doo pipe going out of people's houses. I use that same type of plumbing for my aquarium. So that's kind of the way I look at it. I wouldn't trust a vinyl pipe for the poop to go out of the house. I wouldn't trust that. So it's kind of, I don't trust vinyl pipe really for anything. unless it's just shooting water out into my to do water changes. That's really the only stuff I use it for. Long term, it's clear. You get a lot of algae built up in those pipes and stuff like that. I've actually seen algae grow so bad because the vinyl pipes that were running to the canister were running behind something, and there was a full black background on the tank, but which stopped sunlight from coming in to the tank, but it didn't stop sunlight going to the vinyl pipes that were running up and down from the sump, and essentially one of them got really clogged, popped off because it built up pressure, popped off, and then shot water all over the place. Which to me just seems like one of those shameful days where there's water all over the place when you just like, your pipe was filled up with algae, man. Like, you could have avoided this so easily. So that's one of the big reasons that I trust in sumps, because I'm able to use a lot better plumbing parts and stuff that are much more reliable. I'm having to upgrade Vicky's because I made hers a little bit smaller, and just assuming from doing the calculation that I would have enough flow and everything, but I'm unable to get enough flow out of her overflow to turn the pump up to where I want it, so that there's enough actual physical rotation in the tank, because one of the big things that she wants in her tank is bamboo shrimp. And as you guys know, bamboo shrimps have they have these filter feedy hands that's where they get all their stuff from, so they do need flow. And if they don't have flow, they'll also grow algae all over their bodies. They can't keep themselves clean if they don't have a good amount of flow. So well, the song that I like from The Wizard of Oz is the we represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild. We represent the Lollipop Guild, and we welcome you to Munchkin Land. That's the one that I really like from The Wizard of Oz. I'll have to look up the thank you, that one for sure, because I can't think of how that song goes, even though I'm reading the lyrics right now, and there's like a glimmer in my mind of that song. I'm gonna look it up and listen to it, and I'll come up with that one at some point in time. But let's see. So I gotta thank. Oh yeah, I wanted to thank the patronizers before I head out tonight. Shout out to Long Woo, Steven Scogland, Aquarium Co-op, Joel Gillett, JT, Emden Hollander, Sashimi Whiskey, Jennifer J. Charchicino, Matt Gumet, and Karen KZ Ellis. I don't know where KZ Ellis has been, but thank you guys. Thank you, everybody, for all your awesomeness and coming out, especially Neurotic and Steven Scogland again, and Joel Gillett again. Thanks, guys. Have a great Friday night out there. Don't go totally bananas and lose your cookies or your whatevers or your whoozy whatsits and all of your stuff. We'll be back tomorrow with some more nonsense and some better video than tonight. So let's upgrade on a Saturday. Prepare yourselves for the lake.